Hey everybody, Texas Stroke here, Lance the Performance Shop, LoneStarMopars.com. I just took a look at the SKX frame wrenches, and if you missed that video, check it out. It's a little long, but man, you can just sit there and stare at the wrenches and mute me or whatever you need to do. Those things are impressive, at least on the bench. I hope they perform as good as they look. Now, something that performs just fine is right here. And you're like, what is that, a dog dish? You know, do you have cats running around the shop? No, this is actually a magnetic tray, which you will tell here in just a second. Looks like we can catch some flies in it too. Everything's gone except what was magnetic. Right? So this one, I want to say I got from Summit. No, that is a Harbor Freight item. How about that? So I've had this thing a long time. Very handy, particularly like if you're working on, say, valve covers, something under the hood, right? Number one, your bolts, your nuts, your washers are all going to adhere to this because it's magnetic. But number two, with it being, you know, sort of like a metallic finish, it's bright. If you're under the hood, it's dark, right? And you've got this just like a beacon of light, kind of like Whataburger. The magnet on this one, if you did not know, on my table I built myself, it's actually metal. Yeah, even through the mat. So pretty nice magnet. Now, that thing is functional. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But we can do better, and I did with this one. That's right. We've got pretty much the same thing, it's just branded now. Picked this up from wearmopar.com. I was bringing in something I wanted, and they had a promotion for, you know, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, spend $75, get free freight, so I needed filler items. And this is one of the filler items, and the price on this is not bad at all. How does $5.95 sound? I thought that was a pretty legit deal, and I jumped on it. So, we'll spin it around here. There's really not much to it. It's an officially licensed product made in China, sadly. But I guess the official part number would be right there. A718-39742N. However, I believe on wearmopar.com, it's probably the cheapest thing they sell, honestly. Let me see here. I think it had a different number with it. It is called item number 12FRG. So, the approximate size, they say, is 5 7/8 inch, which that's interesting. Not quite sure how they measured that, but I'm going to go ahead and open this thing up, and we will do a quick comparison on it. The plastic actually cuts really well. Typically, these blister packs are, you know, the worst experience of the day, but this one came out just fine, surprisingly well. Black and blue, classic Mopar, love it. But right here, there it is. This one, it looks shallower than the El Cheapo Harbor Freight, and I think the magnet isn't as tall. We'll do a direct comparison here in a second, but does it, oh, that magnet seems really strong though. I think stronger than the Harbor Freight one, regardless of the size. So we've got some connections over here, right? Okay, that's not magnetic. We've got stainless bolts, dadgum. Me and my stupid stainless stuff. Got aluminum fittings. Here's some good old American iron right here, man. Boom. Thank you, 19. I believe these are flex plate bolts, if I'm not mistaken. Either that or no, they're flex plate bolts. So that gives you an idea. Does it work? Yes, it does. My apologies for not having anything more magnetic. At least you know I've got good quality stainless hardware here on the bench, if you were ever curious. Everything is stainless or aluminum here, man. This is crazy. My apologies. I should have thought this out. The good old Craftsman wrench there, US based, by the way. We'll test the Capri one because we have it handy. Boom. I think the Craftsman's a little bit more metallic, actually. Let's check out. We'll grab the smallest SK one so we can get those plugged. That's pretty strong. So, I don't know what that says about the Capri. That little 3/8 SK seemed more magnetic than the 5/8 Capri did. But bottom line, you get the idea of how it works, right? And it looks cool. It's got the Mopar logo. It's awesome unless you're into Ford, Chevys, or imports. So, let's go ahead and do a direct comparison. First one, we're going to do the size of these. The El Cheapo Harbor Freight, which actually is probably about the same price as this one. Again, this one was a very low price. This is the Mopar unit. The Harbor Freight one, in my opinion, has a greater capacity. Now that I look at the magnets, I think they're roughly the same. This one, of course, would be newer and not used, but yeah, that is pretty much identical. Here's a side profile for you, just so you have a comparison. Again, in my opinion, this one is going to have a greater capacity. Fighting some magnetic waves, they're always cool to see that. But what will this serve for me? It's something cool around the shop, and anytime I'm under the hood, spark plugs, valve cover stuff. Actually under the car, now that I think about it, with all the fuel stuff I've got going, this will actually hold my clamps and everything too, so might work well there. But the big, some kind of a selling point for some people is that this doesn't have to be like treated like a saucer, right? You know, you could use that for a pet dish as well. But bottom line, like if we're in the engine bay of the Duster, and let's say that we've got tools strung out, which it has a pretty good, you know, fender area over the tire, we could stick this to the firewall, okay, full vertical, and since it's magnetic, all of our hardware is going to be magnetized, right? So there we go. You don't have to worry about it spilling down, and if you're limited on space, maybe it's like an import car and you have virtually no space, provided there's some point that's magnetic, you can treat this thing as a full vertical storage location. So that's one of the things. Typically people just have these and they're always like, I have to place it upright. It's like, no, that's kind of why it's magnetic, buddy. You know, you can run it sideways if you want. But $5.95, which I thought, I'm still surprised it's that cheap. It seems like they would want $9.99 for that minimum, probably more. A lot of their stuff is kind of, you know, priced a little high, in my opinion. But I like this. I'm going to use it. Now we've got two of them, so we can keep one kind of on the bench. We can keep one, you know, on the project we're working on. So I'm pretty happy with it, and for $5.95, I don't think you can go wrong. Now, if you're into something else, you know, you can probably find these branded, but again, to get this officially licensed for $5.95 versus, you know, something standard from, you know, Harbor Freight or like Performance Tool type of a deal, we might have actually gotten this one cheaper. So, I'm pretty happy with it, I gotta say. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know, do you use magnetic trays? Do you ever put them full vertical? Similarly, if you wipe the Mopar off, if that's not your thing, if you wanted, you know, a bow tie, a Camaro, a Vet logo, a Mustang, whatever, would you pay extra for that, or would you just get the standard El Cheapo version? Which again, I've had this for so long, I don't remember what I paid for it. But I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't about the same price. So let me know, would the branding, is that something that you would pay extra for? Or would you just be like, screw it, I'm going to buy two of these? You know, we'll assume if they were the same price, you would go with the one you prefer, right? So that said, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you're unaware that this is available, once more, wearmopar.com is where I sourced mine. Oftentimes you can find the products that they have on their site elsewhere, but believe it or not, many times it's actually cheaper from Wear Mopar. So keep that in mind as well. But website, LoneStarMopars.com. Make sure you are following us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Jump through all the hoops, ring the bells, rev your engines, whatever you have to do to get notified. And we will catch you back here for another review from the shop.